Anasema tumefukuza huyu Rigathi Gachagua and he is corrupt. William Ruto, my friend, do you have the moral authority to talk about corruption? And we sympathize with you because juzi kumekuwa na opinion poll on the most corrupt person in the world. And we are unhappy that you are rigged. Instead of giving you number one, they give you number two.
I have to admit that some of us underestimated Rigathi Gachagua. But this man is ahead of Ruto 100 times if you ask me. The reason I'm saying this is, look at how Rigathi Gachagua destroyed Ruto yesterday. Rigathi Gachagua avoided tribalism. Rigathi Gachagua avoided tribal talks because he knows if he goes where Ruto wants him to go, if he follows Ruto's narrative, then he is done. Rigathi Gachagua was so strategic. His speech was flawless. His speech was easily understood by majority of Kenyans, and he knows that Ruto is trying to create a tribal narrative. And for him to survive that, he needs to avoid that route completely. So yesterday he was talking about corruption and government development and all that. This is something that the president doesn't want to talk about. President William Ruto was in a western region. What do you remember about economy, about service delivery, about government projects? Is there anything that Ruto mentioned around these issues that you still remember? No, nobody remembers something like that. But people remember that he attacked Rigathi Gachagua. That is the only thing that people remember about Ruto and his Western tour. So Ruto is not like he's avoiding to talk about his manifesto and all that. He knows that he's cornered. He knows that once Kenyans start asking him about government performance service delivery, he knows that he's cornered. How are we paying? How are we Kenyan, born in Kenya, paying to acquire our identification card? That is craziest thing to happen. It's like you asking me as a Kenyan to buy my identity. That is the craziest thing. I don't know how these people are coming up with some of these policies and suggestions. I don't know. I don't know how they normally reach to such a point. But Rigathi Gachagua is here. Rigathi Gachagua is here to remind us that I am not here by mistake. I was not a deputy president by mistake. And I know what I am doing. Bring it on. Bring it on, Ruto. So we are waiting for Ruto's response because we know he's going to respond to all these things. We know very well how Ruto operates. So he's going to respond to Rigathi Gachagua. So it is going to be a very sweeter politics. You know, for so long we've not had these such kind of truthfulness. You see, even in the last general elections, Ruto really shined when it comes to throwing jabs to the opponents. The ODM lacked this kind of energy that Rigathi Gachagua possesses. There was nobody in ODM who could face Ruto, who could tell Ruto that you are corrupt, who could tell Ruto that State House is 1, 2, and 3. Who could tell Ruto that you are being advised by a Standard 6? I saw Rigathi mentioned something with a Standard 6 person, so just small boys who are, nobody could dare tell Ruto that. And I think if there is something that helped a lot is the 26th June protest. You see, before that protest, there were these Kawoga people were so walikuwa na woga fulani that they could not face Ruto, they could not dare Ruto, they could not confront Ruto. But after 26th of June, Ruto has been confronted several times. We have Edwin Sifuna who is throwing jabs on a daily basis. And here we have Rigiji standing like a man and telling William Ruto, I am not corrupt. You are. I am not incompetent. You are, and that is the reason you are launching a transformer, yet you are a president. It is going to be a very sweet politics. I see things are changing, and I like this. I like that at least we are moving to a certain directions. At least we no longer see politicians as people who cannot be confronted, people who should be respected, people who we should just agree to what they are proposing to us. This is going down. This is breaking. It is changing. Our politics is changing. Rigiji yesterday mentioned, apart from destroying and deconstructing President William Ruto, he mentioned about coalitions and ahead of the 2027 elections. And if you ask me about youth, I saw that there is a discussion coming up about youths and the 2027 general elections, the position of the youths and all that. And what should they do? Should they go as a group on their own, or should they join these forces of Rigathi Gachagua? We'll have to be sincere with ourselves. As young people of this country, we have to be sincere with ourselves. And even before I talk about that, I remember before the 25th of June, youths in this country were speaking in one voice. Unfortunately, money was poured. And some youth chose the money. Some followed the money. So as we speak right now, even the youths in this country are not together. They are not together. And this is the saddest thing. So if you ask me about 2027 and the youths, I think the Gen Z, it is not the best of the decisions, but I think that the Rigiji team, with support from the Gen Z, will oust Ruto mapema sana, because politics is a game of numbers. As we speak right now, we have youths who are supporting Okiya Omtata. We have those who are singing about David Maraga. We have those who are saying they are going for Matiang'i. So you see, you are dividing your votes. So as we stand right now, the only vote that is so sure of is from the central region, because that one, these people have shown us that this one we are out, we are already out. So youth, as we speak right now, if you want to have a bigger voice, if you want to win this thing, come together fast, because the money was poured. Some of you followed money. Some of you are stranded. Some of you don't know whom you want to vote for. So you see, even this, the Matiang'i discussion of Okiya Omtata and all that, perhaps is a project to divide your votes and all that. So you need to be careful. You need to understand that politics is a game of numbers, and our politics is local. As much as you are using the social media platforms to air your voices, to campaign and all that, remember that majority of people who vote ni wale watu wako kule mashinani. Are they even willing to vote for that person we are backing? Are they ready to vote for Matiang'i? Are they ready to vote for David Maraga? Maraga himself is just silent at this point. So that is, I think, if you ask me, if I'm to be sincere, youth alone cannot oust Ruto. Youth as youth, Gen Z as Gen Z alone cannot oust Ruto. That is the reality. That is fact. Ruto needs people, watu kichwa ngumu, because we know who he is. And we really need to have numbers. We really need to have big numbers that even stealing its idea. You see, when Donald Trump was saying that it is going to be a huge margin, that even if they choose to steal, they will give up. And that is what should happen in Kenya. That you should be talking about 14 millions. That even if they try, and you know everything now, squeeze kila kitu inamalizwa pale constituency level, votes, everything and all that inamalizwa pale chini. So it is a bit difficult to even steal right now. But if you make this number to be so huge, then it will make it hard for them to steal. Forget about Sudi telling us that he's going to add votes. Huge numbers will make it hard for them to do so. So the Gen Zs, maybe you should, before we even start to discuss about your position and everything, try as much as possible that by end of this year or in the next few months, at least speak in one voice. I see people, a lot of Gen Z as we speak right now, kila mtu ako kivyake. So you cannot go to face Ruto when unaimba candidate A, mwingine candidate. You have to come with one preferred candidate. Mkuje na vote zenyu tu kwanza zikiwa kando. Then tujumulisha na zile zenye kama the central you see, coalitions is a strong coalition will be needed to house Ruto. Tusidanganyane that Okiya Omtata alone can oust Ruto. No. We've not been here long enough, but for the short period we've been following politics, we know how our politics works. So for the Gen Zs and Rigathi Gachagua, if you ask me, I think they should have a talk. Well, Rigathi Gachagua is not a man that we would like to have, but you see, if that is the only man that can help you get rid of Ruto, then be it. Make a deal with the devil. As long as the devil is backing your project, you make a deal with him. And of course, nobody is 100% clean. But if you compare Rigathi Gachagua and Ruto, even you mnajua at least whom is better in terms of everything. So I would advise the young generations that we know you are desperate to have your own at the helm. We know you want it to happen, but some changes will take time. Some things in this country will take time, considering how politics in our country has been very manipulative since way back. To get civic education to each and every people in this country, to change all this narrative that has been there, will take time. 2027 might not be the time to do so, but it is going to be a step towards achieving that dream. So for young people, don't give up. For now, you are saying that you want Ruto out. Now focus on that. Even if you're going to make a deal with the devil, do it. Do it. So politics towards ahead of 2027, a lot is going to happen, but I am liking what I'm seeing. I am liking what I am seeing, because after 2027, I know a lot will change in this country. Politicians will no longer take us for granted. They will understand what it means, what accountability means, because even now as I speak, our politics now is starting to revolve around accountability, away from tribal narratives. And that is a big step, if you ask me. So that is it for me for now. Thanks for watching. This is a Sophia Live.